What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Mint City Soccer Show Live. I'm your co-host, David Gussler. We're coming to you live here in NoDa Brewing. Got my good friend here, Matt Swift. Matt, welcome.
It's good to be back. Game is tomorrow. Got these two guys here hanging out, eating some good pizza, drinking some good beer. Life is good.
Corey's from behind the scenes. Corey's been sweating here the last 20 minutes getting everything set up, but that's okay. We got it finally going. Hopefully YouTube is working. Everyone's watching live. Feel free to ask questions live, but for those who are here at NoDa, welcome. We're here to talk a little bit about some soccer, some brews, some pizza, talk about Austin FC a little bit. I think there's some Austin fans here.
That's right.
Hopefully they're not too many, but that's okay. They are.
Yeah, so before we get started, everybody, if you can listen up, we do have a raffle tonight. All you got to do, and it's a free raffle. All you got to do is find Tracy, who is over by where the pizza is. Go grab your tickets. There are 4 chances to win. There's a Mint City coffee mug. There's some other things. So
I heard there's pint glasses.
There's some pint glasses, yes. Go find her. Like I said, it's free. You do have to be here to win, though. So if you're on YouTube watching, you should probably race here real quick. But anyway, Tracy is by where the pizza is. Go. She has a bag. She's easy to find.
She's waving right now too. She really loves being on the microphone, so make sure you convince her to come over here and say hello too. So
yeah, there you go.
But yeah, welcome. So Swift, Corey, we talked a little bit about Charlotte FC's recent run of form the last 2 weeks, but we got an interesting opponent coming up here pretty soon, don't we?
Yeah, a good Austin side who has yet to lose a game. So there's a couple things to definitely watch out for them, but they've gotten off to a pretty good start. Scored a couple of goals. They played Minnesota in the first game, draw there, and then beat DC United. But I'm feeling good about being at home. We got a 5-game or a home stretch, so it's good to be back in the Fortress, and I think we're going to bring the energy, and this is a good time to get back on track with a win.
Yeah. And again, if you have questions for the show, feel free to come up at any time. We've got some microphones here for you to ask away. If you're watching on YouTube, watching live, feel free to ask some questions. I see some chat in there already with the Varn Dog 21, which I'm pretty sure is good old Rusty Varner. So friend of the show. But yeah, welcome. So Matt, we Charlotte FC has not had a super stellar start. So we, walked away with a draw against St. Louis, and then last week probably started not the greatest way ever with a 3-0 loss against the LA Galaxy. There's been a lot of talk about starting 11, midfield, center backs, especially already at the start of the season. If you're Dean Smith, what do you do to kind of swing the things in the right way? Do you make drastic changes? You run out with the same starting 11? What would you do?
I think what you do is, you play 2 tough road games back to back. You had to go to St. Louis and then all the way out to LA. And the LA game I think was hopefully just a blip. And we've had games like that in the past where we just have not played well at all. But now you're back at home in front of your home fans, and I think you may try to keep things the same and see how it goes, especially in that first half. And hopefully things settle down and we're off to a good start.
Yeah, I think if you watch some of the press conferences that's happened this week, there's been a lot of questions to Dean about the starting back duo right now with Andrew Privet and Tim Ream.
Yeah.
Obviously Charlotte brought in a player like Henley Kessler to kind of help start or potentially start, and he's been injured to kind of start this match. Do you keep that same duo this game, or do you bring on a Morrison Ajimane to kind of start at center back against Austin?
I think you start with the 2 center backs that we've had. But, we're kind of on a wait and see, like I said, that first half is going to be very important for Andrew Privet to kind of get back on track. I'm sure he's feeling bad for, at least one of the mistakes that he made last game. But, this is a good time to bounce back. But, we should feel good that we do have someone like Ajimane on the bench that can step in immediately. And I thought he looked pretty good when he came in. So now it's on Privet to really show and prove what he can do now that we're home, and I'm hoping that we do see some of that from him.
Yeah, I mean, so in Privet's defense too. So if you remember, the very first time we played St. Louis City was not a great start to that game either in that year. But there was a very eerily similar pass from our very own Adilson Malanda, who recently just got sold for $8 million and was everyone's favorite center back on this team. And even he made a really bad pass mistake where actually I think the same player, and Klaus actually intercepted said pass and scored against us against St. Louis as well. So it doesn't mean that they're terrible players. They make mistakes. Things happen. What's going to be really important is how he rebounds and really kind of shows up differently moving forward, right?
Yeah, and I think too, Dean mentioned it in the press conference, and we talked about it on the show last time. Is like you can't leave Privet and Tim Ream back alone, and you can't have them constantly under pressure. They're two guys that are not the fastest, so you got to give them support. So when you can't have your fullbacks bombing up the field and leaving them kind of back there. Malanda was really good at kind of being a sweeper back there.
Yep. When
balls were played over the top, he could position himself well. Malanda's not the fastest guy on the planet, but he was just really good at positioning. But when you have two center backs that are just isolated back there, that just leads to disaster. And Dean said, he's like, I think we've left them alone back there too much, and we've pushed up. And yes, everything that we've seen and talked about, that's exactly what has happened. So I'm hoping maybe this match Privet will have a little more support back there, and he won't be forced into errors.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were mentioning that during preseason about how much we were kind of playing a high line, isolating the center backs a little bit during preseason, and at least Dean's acknowledged that and is willing to try some things differently. I mean, so what does that mean differently, you think, for Austin in the way that the center backs are going to play differently now potentially?
Well, I think if your center backs play more at home, one, you have more options coming out of the back, and just in case Austin wants to press. And again, I think it just leads to more support for that center back pairing. But I think just being more compact and moving better as a unit up and down the field and not leaving those gaps like we have been. It's just been very poor. And I'm sure they looked at game film, and hopefully they'll make those adjustments because we're just leaving too big of gaps in the field.
Yeah, and make sure I saw Corey chuckle a little bit because I'm assuming there's some comments on the tube, so he's giving me the thumbs up. Never mind. Which is great. So there was a question today, and I think it was either today or yesterday, from the Soccer Sheet folks with Dean about like changing up the midfield. I think one of the biggest name players that Charlotte FC brought on this year, Luca Del Torre, right? And I don't know transparently, I think the whole starting 11 has not been super great the first two games, right? So I don't think it's just on the midfield or just on the center backs. It's been not the greatest start potentially, right? But would you start the same midfield, or would you bring on a little bit change? I know technically we had Jabril Gianni start because Ashley Westwood is sick, but would you start the same midfield as you saw in the first game?
I know what I would do, but I think what Dean will do is start the same midfield. Something to keep in mind, I was thinking about this today.
You start Brant Bronico?
I would.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. When we went on this MLS tying historic run, we did not have Pep. We had a very defensive-minded midfield, and we were hard to get scored on. So now you have a midfield where Pep is back in, which is completely fine because he's an attacking player, and we were kind of missing that. But then behind him, you have Westwood, who gives you defensive cover. But Luca, he's more like controlling the ball and more offense. So now you've changed the dynamic of the midfield. So if you're going to do that, and you have your fullbacks going forward, you're just completely exposed defensively. And so that's why if we're going to have Pep and Luca and Westwood out there, you got to be more organized. Luca has 67 touches in 2 games, and that's it. Now, he only played one half of one of the games, but 67 touches in 2 games is not ideal for a guy that was brought in to control the midfield. So I'm hoping this game he gets more on the ball and we can work through the spine instead of going out wide all the time and playing that way.
You know, it's funny even looking back with, 3 years now with Dean Smith, right? Or 3 or 4 years, something like that. 3 years, right? Go back to the first year when we made it to the playoffs. You had a junior Urso and a Ashley Westwood kind of starting in the midfield, right? And, you know, Pep Biel was kind of starting the attacking mid, maybe play some wing. You had Brant playing up top. Last year, when we were in the playoffs, you had a Jabril Gianni, Ashley Westwood, and a Brant Bronico. So it seems like it works out better for Dean's system when you typically have two defensive-minded 6 and 8s that can kind of pivot and know positioning a little bit better versus having a 6 be a pivot with someone that's more offensively minded. So do you think that has anything to do with it?
Yeah, so here's the thing, like you want Pep Biel on the field to create stuff, right? Because I think that's what we were lacking in the playoffs. But you have to have somebody that's going to play decent defense behind him because Pep's not going to play defense. That's not his game. You also have Zaha out there who doesn't give you a lot of defensive cover. And if you
you're telling me to start Brant Bronico?
So and if you start Abada on the other side, you really don't have any defense out there. So I think that's the problem, and especially if you have those fullbacks that are overlapping, you just Tim and Andrew are just back there just holding on for dear life.
They're isolated.
They are isolated.
I learned that word earlier today from that press conference. No, it's good. So what about the attack? Like, do you think Charlotte has a good chance to be able to score some goals against this Austin team?
Yes. So it's funny. What we need to watch out for is corner kicks and free kicks from Austin. Flip side of that, that's what we need to have more of, free kicks and corner kicks. But I'm really worried about set pieces and corners from Austin because I think two of the 3 goals that they have scored have come off of corners and set pieces, but they have also almost scored like 4 or 5 other goals just on corner kicks. So.
We got a celebrity that walked in, so sorry if you're hearing some background noise, but we got some celebrities that came in. No, I'm just joking. So, I'm hoping that, especially since this is our first home game of the season, which feels a little bit different. I feel like we've had some home games start sooner at this point of the season, but it'd be nice to be able to get some points at home and really help build that home field advantage, right?
You have to. I mean, you get 5 home games in a row. So you got to maximize what you can get, and you know we say this every single season. You win your home games and you're okay.
Yep.
But if you start dropping points at home, that's a problem. But there should be no excuses now. You're at home 5 games in a row. You don't have to travel, so you gotta maximize what you got.
To be fair though, this 5-game home stretch is no slouch. It's a pretty rough gambit of games.
You gotta beat the teams that are in front of you, and if you're gonna make the playoffs, you have to. And the East is very competitive, but you gotta beat who's in front of you.
Yep.
And if we always talk about taking it to the next level. You gotta beat these teams that are tough.
It would also help that we don't have to go on a historic 10-game win streak in the middle of the summer to help carry us into the playoffs.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have to do that.
Yeah, be nice.
But
I mean, I'll take a 10-game win streak.
Now keep in mind, we had a lot of injuries at the beginning of last year. Hopefully, knock on wood, we're not having that same issue. But yeah, hopefully we'll.
So, shame on us, we didn't start with this, but I see both your beer glasses are getting a little empty here.
Yeah.
But what were you drinking here from NoDa?
I had the pitch side pills.
Nice. How was that this year?
It's good. I need a refill.
Wait, I'm just joking. I'll go get that. Corey said, producer extraordinaire Corey in the background said he's got us here.
Oh, yeah.
Corey, not to put you on the spot, but what are you drinking, Corey? Look at that. Corey, not to put you on the spot, sorry.
Is my mic working?
It is.
I had a jam session.
Nice.
Which is my go-to. I've had 2 jam sessions. Soon to be a 3rd. So I'm staying off the mic.
So you're telling me you've been here since noon with Swift, drinking all day is what you're telling me?
Pretty much.
Nice. Sorry, I had to do a quick plug there for our friends here at NoDa.
But before you go to that, also too, we have some vendors outside. There's sunny days, there's glory days, there is Defend the Queen. So if you're here, go outside, check them out, see what all they got.
I got to make sure I go see JD and the Glory Days folks over there too. Drop some money.
Are you gonna buy me something?
Maybe. We'll see. I'll get you a new kit. Maybe not. That's okay. Actually, Corey, I just realized, not to put you on the spot, you said you were going to get the new kit. Did you get the new kit yet?
I did get the new kit.
Nice.
I bought it yesterday. I thought about wearing it tonight, but no, it needs to debut with the team tomorrow. Is that the new hat with the?
It is the new hat.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. Got this on Fanatics, so I think it's available in store. We'll see. But yeah, I forgot you know, little stitches, you know, to be able to just to make sure you wear the matching uniform to start the game off this next week. But Swift, how great does it feel to be back in Bank of America Stadium now? So I think they said online that this game is sold out, or it will be sold out. So I know it's lower bowl, not going to be the upper deck open for this one, but still 33,000 fans inside the stadium. Still could be a really solid, very loud home field advantage, right?
I think that's the thing, and I think that's why they didn't open up the upper deck, is they want to make sure the lower bowl is completely filled and kind of trap that noise down. And the thing is like, it's like, oh, we only have the lower bowl open, but our lower bowl is bigger than most, all of soccer-specific stadiums, so it's kind of nice.
It is nice. It will be interesting to see what the renovations bring in the future there for the stadium as well too. So, what are you looking towards most for this first season? I know there's always like a new Spooky Queen video. There's tifos. Look at that service. Wow, look at that. There's a new Spooky Queen video usually. There's a new tifo. You know, you got the supporters, the drums, the chants. What's the thing that you look forward to most for your first game in Bank of America?
We've talked about it, the Spooky Queen videos, the acid trip fever dream.
It's very much a fever dream.
I love it. It's so, like, every time I watch it, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I love it. So I'm excited. I'm hoping that they'll do it again.
Yeah.
And then I want to see what they do with Mr. McTorchy face.
Torchy McTorchy?
Yeah. And then what other things that they come up with this season.
Be interesting. And I know, Corey, we talked about this last year, and I'm not asking you a question. Sorry not to put you on the spot, but no, we've talked in the past about how much different the stadium feels being a nighttime game. I know it's 7:30 kickoff. Sometimes you can't control the way the sun sets or rises or anything like that, but I feel like this one will be pretty much a night game, at least at halftime. How different does that feel inside Bank of America when it's a night game?
You got all the lights and pyro. It's nice. And again, they had a drone show the one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm interested.
Fireworks, I think,
I'm
after the game.
To see what they do this time.
Yeah, I'm that Spooky Queen video. It's like some Dark Souls, crazy stuff going on.
And aren't they doing? I don't know if I can say.
Gonna have some breaking news.
Who's doing the national anthem?
I don't know if you can say that. Maybe not. I don't know. He sips his tea while he does that. So I'm not sure.
I think it's going to be different this time.
Oh.
Not the fans singing, but I think there's a little added.
Little twist?
Maybe.
What's a twist? M. Night Shyamalan?
You'll see tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hyping it up a little bit there, Swift. Look at you with your exclusive sources. Yeah, I mean, so if you're now looking at the rest of this game against Austin, though, so where do you think defensively Charlotte is going to do in this game? I know we talked a little bit about like the center back pairings, what we're going to do differently there, but Harry Tuffalo was someone we talked about a lot in this last game. Nathan Byrne has always been a favorite of yours too, so left back, right back pairings. What do you expect to see from Harry and team from back there at left back?
Okay.
I'm filibustering while we're
just making sure we got a comment. So, yeah, there's going to be a person playing the trumpet.
Oh, you can't say. Okay.
And then I think the fans are going to sing, but it's a little different.
A trumpet.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I thought that they had announced it, but then I got super.
You got really scared.
I got shy. And anyway, so yeah.
Yeah.
What were you asking?
So yeah, I was talking about the left. That's the fun stuff on the live show. Sorry. Left back and right back. So Harry Tuffalo was someone we talked about a lot in the last episode. Yeah. How do you think? What should he do differently in this game, especially knowing that like Wilfred Zaha's on the wing, potentially not as defensively sound, doesn't play his back there. We've had some struggles in the midfield a little bit early on. What do you think Harry should do differently in this game, or do you think we kind of see the same approach, but maybe some different things in the midfield to help out?
Well, I'm pretty sure he saw our show and my illustrations that I did, and so he's going to watch that and be like, oh, I probably don't need to bomb forward.
I thought you were serious for a second there.
No, I wonder if, well, Dean said it in the press conference. He's like, I think we've isolated the center back. So I'm sure he's had a conversation with Harry, Byrne, Schnegg, whoever, like, hey, let's maybe stay a little more at home and don't expose our center backs too much. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping I'll see more of Harry in support. And Harry's really good getting forward.
Agreed.
But it has to be in moderation. And Austin is really, really good in transition. They're really fast. So I'm a little worried about that. So I really want our fullbacks to kind of stay back this match.
Do you see Schnegg start, or do you start Tuffalo?
No, I really do think Dean goes with the same lineup just to kind of see, again, back at home. I'm sure he's had conversations with everybody. So, but again, if things go south, I would imagine the second half, Dean will make some quick changes, and you'll probably maybe see more of what we saw last match.
Got it. Makes sense. Not to put anybody on the spot, but just make sure if you have questions, make sure you walk up here and ask and see.
Yeah.
Don't be scared. There's
There's
of viewers.
There's a microphone right here if you want to ask a question.
But for sure.
Or a comment.
Or
heckle.
Or heckle. We'll have to peer pressure, Mint City Collective President Brandon Lewis to come up here a little bit, make sure he has some words.
I think once people have some more drinks, there might be some heckling on the microphone.
I hope we have some heckling, especially Philip and some other folks here. Heckle us a little bit. It's okay. So,
Go ahead.
no, you're good. So, from the attack perspective, so we've seen a little bit of a starting wings with Abada and Vargas. Week one was because Vargas was kind of coming back from concussion protocol a little bit. Last week he was there. We didn't really create very much in LA, but again, granted, we went down 3-0 in the first 15 minutes. It's gonna be really hard to be able to create a lot in that kind of a situation. What do you think is going to be different in this game for, our strikers, our wingers for this game, especially with a player like in the caliber of Zaha?
I think we'll have more of the ball this game, lots more possession. So if there's opportunity for our front three to make some runs, get on the ball more, like I said, I really need, if Luka is going to start, I need him on the ball more. I need him and Pep linking up more. And I'm hoping our wingers can move around a little more and get into some dangerous areas to receive the ball.
So I'm looking at some of the comments here. So sorry, I did not give credit to Rob Barnes, who asked the same question about the Tuffalo and the Schnegg, who should start in that situation. So I had to make sure he got the credit there for it. But one of the things that came up here, I know that we're talking about Austin tonight, but one of the things that the team announced, which I think I'm pretty pumped about, being someone that lives Monroe Indian Trail area. I know Corey also lives, somewhere near that a little bit. But Crown Legacy.
Don't lump me into your Monroe residency. I live on Monroe Road.
It's the same thing. It leads to the same place. Don't talk down to my Monroe residency, sir. But Crown Legacy announced that all home games this year will be free tickets. So there's some comments in here about Legacy and what they're doing. It's a pretty cool thing that they're doing there from that perspective, right?
Yeah, it's really, those games are a lot of fun. If you haven't been, I would highly suggest going, and it's really good for the young ones too. They can run around, and there's lots to do and play. And also too, they do a really good job of after the game, the players come to the lawn, they can go up right to the fence, and you can get stuff signed. So it's a really family-friendly environment, and it's fun to watch some of the guys that are probably going to end up on the first team. And we've had a lot of that. So
you can get a Patrick Aubameyang type player, sign your jersey before they blow up on the first team, right?
That is exactly right.
No, right. So
when I do like the legacy jerseys too. I gotta get one of those.
Do they change them or is it the same ones?
No, they changed them.
I totally missed that.
Yeah.
So I'll have to look that up and see here.
I've got the old ones.
I could not get my hands on the old ones, but now I'm panicking, looking and seeing what the new legacy jerseys look like.
Yeah,
can you describe
nice.
it for me?
They're a little bit like the Explorer kit.
Oh.
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely have to look that up and see. So hopefully we see some folks, especially Corey, who lives in Monroe, out at the game to see, since he's so adamantly against being associated with Monroe. Is that it right there? That's not it right there.
No.
Okay, I was about to say that looks like some fan created stuff. Anyways.
David's dying over here.
I am a little bit. Just in case you can't tell, my voice is pretty raspy, so trying to stay well hydrated to keep up this wonderful sounding voice here for it. So, Do you think there's any pressure for Dean if this home game stretch doesn't go according to plan?
Yeah. I think that, it's been, for me, a couple years of kind of the same issues. So they need to be addressed. And, Dean's been okay about, overcoming some adversity and righting the ship there. So I'm hopeful that he does. But, no, if we go on a losing streak here at home, yeah, definitely. Absolutely.
Got it. And I'm not saying that he is or should be. Just wondering. Because it'll be a rough start of the season. 5 games at home and not potentially getting points at home.
Yeah.
Love it here, man. It's a great vibe.
Yeah, it's nice. This is a really good turnout.
Yeah. I didn't realize that NoDa has pizza here. So that's been
Oh, yeah. If you haven't been to NoDa in a while, they definitely have their own little kitchen now. And pizza.
Pizza that...
As you could probably see. I thought about maybe just eating pizza on air the whole time and not talk.
Just make sure you eat into the microphone so then that way everyone can hear that wonderful noise, especially online.
And the camera's right on me, so I really want to eat. But...
No. It's the wide camera right now.
Okay.
We just zoom in on you to make sure that you feel loved. But sorry. This is great. So, what players should we look out for this next game?
For Austin?
Yeah.
There's Fagundes. I definitely would watch out for, especially on transition. And I'm blanking on his name. There's a defender that's really good in the air. There's some Austin fans around here somewhere that maybe they could tell us. But I would watch out. I can't remember now. But anyway, again, set pieces, corner kicks, those are going to be crucial, and that's what I'm really, really worried about. Because like I said, they've been really deadly on both of those.
How about for Charlotte? What players are you going to be watching, making sure they make an impact?
I want to see what Zaha does, especially after some of the comments made by Zoran, and I've seen Zaha get a little chippy with some folks on Snapchat. So
I have not. I don't have Snapchat, so I'm glad I don't.
I don't either. Yeah. But it gets passed around. I want to see what he's about.
Interesting.
And let me go back to that Zoran comment. It seemed pretty, like a jab. Here's the thing, though. He's on loan. He is a DP. He's expected to do big things. If he doesn't, then do we want a player that's struggling? No. So he does need to prove things. Now, the thing is, he just got an assist, so I don't know. So there's that. But so I'm very interested to see what he does this next game and how he kind of handles the pressure and the comments and the expectations.
So we got a few questions from chat here, Swift. So just to make sure I read these up here. One comes from Rob Barnes, 82. So 5 games against some pretty tough opponents. What's the points total we need to keep Dino off the hot seat?
I think if he got 10 points, it's okay, considering the opponents. Joe just walked by and he said you have to get 15. 15 points
15
or nothing.
points. I agree with him. That's it. We got to get him.
Here's the thing. You're supposed to win your home game, so why not 15?
For every home game you lose, you really need to get that many more points on the road just to make up for it.
We started with a point.
Yeah.
So, but still.
It wasn't a very, fluffy, good feeling point.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We did that in Seattle.
That's true.
We played horrible there, too.
Yeah.
So, probably didn't deserve a point there either. But, you got to take them how you can get them.
We had a little unknown player in Tokomati then create some pressure and create an own goal in Seattle last year. So another question that came up from John Clark, 8221. Potential breakout player for this season. So I know we had our preseason conversations earlier in the year, but for you, I guess two-part. Who do you think is going to be the most likely to be the breakout player, and who do you think needs to be the breakout player for Charlotte? Or it could be the same player.
Well, I think if you're going to talk about a breakout player, you got to talk about Ajamang starting in the back. I'm kind of hoping things go well and he's not needed.
Right.
But that's someone to look out for if things go south. But I honestly, I've kind of given up on Abada in a way. Corey, I know, seemed like we always, every single season, like, oh, he's got to have a great year, and he just doesn't. So I'm thinking, like, Zaha needs to really prove something in the next, couple of months until we get to the summer window. So.
Sorry, I'm trying to coax some people to come up here and ask a question, but, Paul, the drum extraordinaire, doesn't seem like he wants to come up right this second. But that's okay. Who, me? Me, you? You, me? Yeah, that's okay.
Just give him a minute.
Yeah, just give him a minute, yeah.
Let him drink a little more, and then they'll come up.
Corey's breakout player is still Leo Bada, right? as he has to turn around and turn his mic on.
Third year's a charm, I guess, is the only thing you could say.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I would love to see it, but I'm not holding my breath at this point.
Yeah. So I guess and we talked about it an episode or two ago, but this summer window could see a lot of changes for Charlotte, right? You have Wilfred Zaha, who's on loan through June. You have a player in Lila Bada that was rumored to move last year. Sure, a lot of people are thinking, can we free up a DP spot that way? You've got some other players that can move on or could come in, etc. But Corin Vargas was rumored to be linked to some teams early this season and late last season. So, what do you think is likely to happen? And what would you do if you're Zoran?
Well, I think this summer is going to be crucial because I think the thought of the team is they like the personnel that they have. They promoted some of the youth up and just going to ride it to the summer, thinking that they're okay, and then make some big changes. And Zaha is a big one, and Abada is another one. And you kind of assess at that point like what you need. And then you got to factor in, are there any injuries or anything like that you have to supplement the team with? So I think there's going to be some big changes in the summer and a lot of changes at the end of the season.
So I know we'd like to joke around that we are not a sport betting app or anyone to listen to for any kind of odds. But if you're a betting man, what percentage do you say Wilfred Zaha is extended and stays here throughout the season?
I would say anywhere between 65 and 75%. I know for a fact that his kids like it here, and Zaha likes it here. But
money talks.
Money does talk. And again, if we're doing well, that changes the whole dynamic. But if we're struggling, So.
Yeah, I mean, just like any other team, any other players, any other DPs, if they struggle, they're not going to stick around, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're Lilo Bada, but that's okay. So betting odds on that one. Think Lilo Bada gets moved this summer?
I think that one's more. Now the summer. That's a good question. I'd maybe put that at like 50-50. But yeah, him being sold, I would put that almost at like 90% of him being sold.
But just not potentially at the summer window.
It depends on a buyer and then who is the replacement.
And if where Abada is going, if he wants to go there potentially, right? Because he can, I don't want to say stop it, but if he doesn't want to go there, won't sign a new contract with said team, that could also put a damper in it too, right?
There's a lot of factors, but I think he can't even lock down the starting role here. So.
Yep. So real quick before I go to this next question, make sure, as Swift said, there is a raffle here tonight. So I see Tracy's walking around. It's got the tickets. Make sure that you go see Tracy inside over here. She has a name tag on. Getting a ticket, there's some free giveaways. I think there's a mug, there's some pints, etc. Make sure it's free. So make sure you find her, get your tickets for the raffle, so we can announce that here a little bit later, especially with our friends here at NoDa. So Swift, there's been some announcements this week, and I guess the past 2 weeks, there's been some announcements with Charlotte FC, City of Charlotte, soccer, etc. So one of those is the All-Star game. So they announced who the opponent is. So it's League MX, right? So that'll be who the opponent will be here in Charlotte. Are you going to the game?
I really want to. Are you going to buy me a ticket?
No. I will not, sorry.
Corey, are you going to buy me a ticket?
He shakes his head no.
All right, so I'm 50-50. No, I'm one of the weirdos that actually like the All-Star game, so I definitely will go. I think it's fun for the city. There'll be lots of things going on during the week leading up to it, and then there'll be the skills challenge, and it'll be a lot of fun. Hopefully, we have an All-Star or two.
Well, Dean Smith is the head coach because he's the home team, right?
Yeah.
And we've complained in years past that the home team coach tends to have some favoritism on some of their players that they tend to bring in. So hopefully Dean keeps that trend going and makes some Charlotte FC selections. If you had to guess, who would be Dean's selection for All-Star potential?
It'd probably be Zaha or Pep Biel.
Tokomati, Kalina, get all four.
I think, well, it just depends on how the season's going, but I think we'll get like either one or two.
Yeah.
And those would be the two. Or if Kalina is having, 10 saves a game.
Breaks the MLS record with saves.
I mean, we're off to unfortunately a good start with that.
So I actually look really forward to the skill challenge. What's up, dude? So the skill challenge is something that I would look up to and look forward to.
Oh,
playing rock, paper, scissors.
Oh,
tie. We're gonna keep this going.
Tie again.
Oh, he got me.
He got you.
He's got me 3-0 so far. So, yeah. So, what impact is that going to bring to Charlotte? Just from a visibility perspective, too. Like, is that, like you said, that's good for the city. It's going to bring some events the week of. I'm sure they're going to do stuff in like the park downtown. I'm sure they'll do some stuff throughout the city. What kind of impact is that going to bring to the city of Charlotte?
Lots of money into the city, and I think too, like when people like. It's kind of funny. As fans, we kind of look at our stadium like, oh, it's a football stadium, right? But I think when other people come here and they see the atmosphere and how big the stadium is, I think they're pretty pumped about it. It's large, it's loud, and so I think them coming here will see what the atmosphere is like and just the environment. And like I said, there'll be a lot of fun stuff going on uptown. So I think it'll be a good spotlight for the city.
Yeah, I agree. And then League's Cup opponents got announced this week. So I think Pumas is the first one. The other two, I don't remember who they were. I don't know if you know off the top of your head or not, but I can filibuster here for a second.
Yeah, I know Pumas. I was talking to Chico, who's La Morta, and he's a big Pumas fan. So I asked him, I was like, who are you going to be cheering for? So that's exciting, too. And they're moving some of the games to away as well, too. So that's going to be fun.
So I've got it here. Pumas, Atlas, and oh god, I can't even pronounce what the other one is.
Do it.
No, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of all these people. Oh my god.
Do it.
Pachuca? Who the hell knows? I have no idea.
That was actually pretty good.
Yeah, Pachuca.
Yeah.
Close enough, right?
Sure.
We'll have someone come up here and correct me here.
It's no Ajax, but
it is no Ajax or Ajax or whoever it is. Love the peer pressure here. Thank you, everybody. So I know there's always ruffled feathers on the feelings of Leagues Cup, and you've been a strong, I don't want to say proponent, cheerleader of Leagues Cup, but still a fan of it now into this 3 years.
Yeah, I want to see what it evolves to, and I want to see this league market it well, and I want them to market the Open Cup well too. We're not the only league that is involved in different cups and things like that. I don't see why we have to be any different. So I just want to see what MLS does with it and how it can evolve and bring, new eyeballs to this league.
Rob Barnes says that Pep BL will get the votes. Zaha will get the coach's pick.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, Pep last year got off to a they were talking about him being MLS MVP.
Yep.
And for a long time after he was injured, he was still in the top 4 and 5 in assists. Wasn't even playing. So he got off to a really good start.
I think he was leading the league at one point.
He's already off to a good start. Even though we haven't played all that great.
Yeah.
I'm expecting great things. But what we've talked about, I want him to be able to go forward and create, but you got to have stuff behind him to help.
How big of a find is that? I mean, think about like Pep BL. Go back and rewind that summer window. There was a lot of hoopla around the potential players that we were going to be signing. Things falling through, and then you can find a player like Pep BL, and everyone's like, "Who?" But then, now look at it. Got his loan extended twice. Was able to be, top goal contribution there for a little while for Charlotte. And now is a long-term player for Charlotte FC under contract. So I mean, what's that say to scouting, but then also to the fans that tend to overreact when moves don't happen or do happen on windows? Because half the time, some of these people don't even know who these players are, right?
Yeah, I remember when that whole deal was going on, there was another player that we were linked to. Everybody's like, oh, of course we're not going to spend money on this player. We don't spend any money. Sometimes spending money doesn't mean anything. I look at Atlanta, who spent, I knew where you're going.
Yeah.
Atlanta spends a ton of money on 2 players that haven't done jack crap. So, and one of those we were actually linked to, and
sold the rights to.
He's done nothing. So
and Latte Lath is $21 million.
And I mean, look, we're gonna miss on players, but I think we have done a good job of finding some really amazing talent too.
Yeah, we've had our fair share of misses as well. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Here's the thing: when we've missed, they've been loans. We're not like financially tied to these players for a long term. We did miss a lot on the number 10 for a while, and we've missed
TT Ortiz.
Don't get me started on TT. I could eat this whole pizza, drink 5 beers, and still outrun TT.
Stop. I think we need to make that happen. Someone find TT Ortiz, whatever 4th team he's been on since then, and see if we can time a 40-yard dash with Matt Swift and TT Ortiz.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, we've definitely missed on some players, some wingers for sure, but we've also hit on some really, really key players. Look at Kalina. No one knew who Kalina was.
Yeah.
MLS goalkeeper of the year. You got Malanda, Patrick Ajame, who was a draft pick. So
who's doing really well in championship, by the way.
Yeah, killing it. Yeah. So it's give and take.
Despite what U.S. men's soccer team Twitter says.
I try to ignore all that.
I know.
Yeah.
I've gotten off that site. I appreciate it. You got a question? What's up, Phil? Hold on one second. Let's use this one here, and if you want to flip that,
use that
one. This one here. So I just turned that on. So give us just a second here, and hold on one second.
Standing
here.
awkwardly right now.
I know. You can pick it up if you want to. It makes it a little bit easier for you. So maybe. There we go.
All right, there we go.
Can't hear him yet. Hold on one second here. The wonderful, wonderful beauty of doing a live show. Try something real quick.
Can you hear me now, Corey?
You can hear him on the stream. Okay.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead.
So one of the things I've addressed this with my ticket rep, and we've addressed it a little bit in Discord. I know I think Matt disagrees with me a little bit on stuff, but thoughts on some of the handling of some of the things with season ticket members and the rollout of the new ticket pricing for getting new fans, which I agree with that, but also it puts the team in a tough spot when they're undercutting prices by so much for season ticket members. General thoughts from you guys.
Swift, I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so I think, and an article came out, and I've talked to some people at the team, and so I think they are finally kind of like, we've made some mistakes, and I think they're starting to address those. I think there's going to be some talk with not only the supporter groups, but with regular season ticket members too, and I think that's important because I'm in a supporter group. We're all in a supporter group, but there's so many other fans in the stadium that pay a lot of money that's not in the group at all. But I think they're wanting to really try to start talking to those folks. I know the gift is still delayed. There was a problem getting that in, so they've acknowledged that. There was you talked about the All-Star game. There was the email for the code came out 30 minutes before the window.
I missed that. So
and also the fact that they say that those codes are season ticket member perks when they're not season ticket member perks because they get sold. They get distributed immediately to anybody.
Yeah, so I think they've started to look and actually address that. Now, they've talked about it. Now, they actually haven't done anything yet, so that's the next step. But I think they have acknowledged it, and they're wanting to talk with the people that it's affecting. And it's not just the supporter groups. It's people that sit in different sections that have had season tickets for 5 years, and they can't resell their ticket. And they're being gouged, and prices are going up. So I think that they're finally at least acknowledging it, and then there are supposedly going to be some things in place, some town halls to kind of work that through. But there's a lot that needs to be fixed that has been an issue since day one.
Yeah.
I agree since day one, and I think and again, I don't want to point fingers at Matt here, but I know I'll probably go for you, but I think Eric's predecessor painted whoever took over after he was let go, who would have to implement those lower prices, into a tough spot because whoever that person had be was going to just have to. I think Gussler said it earlier about just ripping the Band-Aid off and just do it.
Yeah.
Even though there was going to be consequences to people who have been season ticket holders since before there was ever a match.
Yeah,
But I was just saying that the rough part is the PSL part.
Yeah.
Like that, transparently, I think if that wasn't in place, they would be able to roll back things a lot easier. But the problem is they've sold 4 years of those PSLs into that space. But to Matt's point, they've done a lot of talking this year. They've shared some things. I think it's things that should have been said and move in the right direction. But to your point, I mean, I'm not a season ticket member anymore. I was a day zero deposit holder, anything like that. But they need to talk to you guys and show action. They'll be able to get it to where it needs to be. It's good talks right now, but it's got to make sure they move that in action for it.
The part of the talk that I thought was most interesting in a good way from I think we were both talking about the top 10 article that we both publicly commented on social media about how good it was, is the acknowledgement that the season ticket holders from day one for 5 years are the most important customers because they're the customers they already have, and that should be retaining them should be your top priority. That's sales 101. You retain your existing customers, and instead of just like it seems like before, the team was always like, let's chase the new customers, and like season ticket holders left, they're like, oh well, new customers just take their place, and they just haven't taken their place.
Yep.
I honestly think there was a lot of Panther personnel that moved over to Charlotte FC, and they thought that they could replicate a lot of what was going on over there on the soccer side, and that's not the case. They're two different fan bases, and I'm a Panther fan too, but it's just two different scenarios and situations. So I think they literally got off on the wrong foot from day one, thinking like, this is how we're going to do it. We've done this on this side. We're going to replicate it here. And then, of course, the first year, that's when everybody's going to pay for it, right? Everybody's super excited. They're like, here, just take my money. No forethought, really. But now things are starting to, like, all right, we're in year 5. Prices keep going up. Things are not really getting any better. And you can't sell your ticket and everything like that. So now they're like, oh, yeah, we messed up.
Yeah, well, and I don't care, and it's something I think I've talked to you directly about this a number of times. Like, I don't care if I can't sell my ticket because I always just give it to friends and stuff like that. I like that. Yep. I've always been critical of people who say I'm leaving because I can't profit from this. That's a BS excuse.
Yeah.
But what's kind of rolling back some of the benefits for non-club seats and then rolling them into a gamified system on the app. That's like. That's not really like, that's not the best treatment of season ticket holders. And then when you come out with the heavily discounted tickets on top of that, that's what rubbed me the wrong way to actually speak up and say something to the team. Yeah. And fortunately, I'll give my Nicole, which I don't know if she listens to the podcast, but credit her for calling me, and she's like, yeah, I just want to hear you what you have to say. So it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's a start, but they're going to have to prove a lot of things. It can't just be talking.
Correct. So one of the questions, and related, Phil, because it came up in the chat here. So Rob Barnes says, what are your thoughts about cannibalizing the 200 section of the SS with cheap tickets each match? Thanks, Phil, by the way. Say that again?
What'd you say? What was the
question? Yeah. So what are your thoughts about the club cannibalizing the 200 section of the supporter section for cheap tickets each match? So,
well, I think they wanted to shrink the supporter section a little bit anyway.
It needed to be.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I was. I don't sit in that section, so it's better that you kind of answer that. But I'm actually okay with it for now. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And I'm all about the cheaper tickets in that section, getting people there and getting it full.
But yeah, to Phil's point, and even Rob Barnes' point here, and just being on here, it doesn't feel good to see that as a season ticket member holder too. What's up, Chantry?
You're being challenged again.
I am being challenged again. Oh, you beat me 4-0.
He's
He beat
killing
me.
you.
One more time. Oh, I got you finally. Let's go.
All right.
Yeah. No, come on in. So we've got a former vice president of Mint City Collective, Fulham great.
Oh God, are you guys going to talk about Fulham?
All the time. I just can't watch them. It's okay.
That's right. You're bad luck.
I am bad luck. It's for the Hornets and for Fulham.
I was going to say, you can't really talk shit about Fulham at the moment when Charlotte being so bad, but we lost our last game in Chelsea as well. So
Yeah.
I'm bad all round. Don't let me support your team in any sport because they're any family.
So what's up, Chantry? How you been?
Good. Looking forward to a new season. It's been, I feel like it's been a long time, but it's come around quickly at the same time.
Ask Chantry about the section, the 200 section. See what he.
Oh yeah. So that was one of the questions that came up in the chat. What's your thoughts on shrinking the supporter section? But now they've said they're going to release cheaper tickets, $26 for those 200. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like I don't think I'm not sure it's quite a black and white thing. Like it's like a great thing or a bad thing necessarily. Like I do think that the supporter section is probably a little too big anyway. I agree with that. I maybe would have changed it a bit differently than they did, and maybe like take off like the sides a little bit more versus like the weird shape that it is.
Yeah.
Because there are some people that like
like
to
a
sit
middle
at the
finger?
top and not be down below, and that's fair. Like having the one teeny section at the top feels odd to me. So I agree with doing it. I would have executed it a little bit differently. Would be my answer.
Yeah.
I like the cheaper tickets. I know there's been some discussion around like, hey, we have the $15 tickets before versus the 26. However, I think that really comes down to like what's the volume of that were available before versus now. It sounds like there's more available now.
Yeah. Because I think they only did like 100 tickets at the 15. Like I could be wrong. I just try to remember what Nick said when he came on the show early on, or Sean, about the $15 tickets. It was a very limited quantity.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a misunderstanding. Like everybody's like, oh, they're doing away with the $15 tickets, and like, but
You had to go to the box office to get them on like Monday at 9 a.m. or whatever it was.
But from my understanding, a lot of people were not buying those tickets.
Well, it wasn't really advertised very well.
It wasn't promoted, but they weren't like, people were just not buying them. So I'm okay with them changing it. They should have just done that
from the beginning.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, the time of it's a problem as well. I think
Yeah.
I've said this to a couple of people recently, but there definitely needed to be cheaper tickets available. I think everyone can agree with that. Like more affordable options to get new people in that wouldn't go otherwise, and like to get them to like become a big supporter. Like you've got to start somewhere. So that's good. You have to do that. The problem, obviously, and a lot of people have been annoyed about, and I understand their feelings on it, are it undercuts their season ticket like resale value of it, which if you can't come to a game, it makes your season ticket feel less valuable. Therefore, why should I have one and not go a single 10 tickets? Which I get that financially, that does make sense. However, at some point they were going to have to rip that band-aid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Should they have done it 2 years ago? Probably, but like I can't remember what that meme is. Like the best time to delete this it was before now. The second best time is now. Like better now than 2 years time from now. They had to do it eventually. Right. I'm glad they've done it. Like it's going to be maybe a couple of years of like getting those values back in line. But I think it was a band-aid they had to rip.
And the other thing about not opening up the upper bowl, the lower bowl is now more full, and so you do have more of an opportunity to sell your ticket if you want. It's a little better than when everything's open.
Yeah, I mean, I know Jeremy, who's in our Discord and was a season ticket member and isn't now anymore because he had that issue where he had lower bowl seats, like front row. He couldn't make it to every game, so when he was just trying to sell them, even just for face value, so that way he get his money back,
And to Phillips, Phillips' point earlier, like that's not my thing. I didn't get tickets to break even or sell them later, but everybody's situation is different, and if that is value to you and you're not getting that, then that makes you think twice about getting season tickets. And if it's that decision and there's another one that stacks up, you're just like, you kind of like wash your hands of it. So there's a lot that they need to fix. But
I think there's two ways of looking at it. There's that point which is like both views are valid. It depends on like the value that you're holding it. For sure, like you value being in the same seat every time. Like things like that, which are very important to some people, maybe less so to other ones. Like if you look at it purely from hey, I want to go to all the games, and I don't care where I sit, and I don't care about the freebies. Right now, buying single games tickets probably financially does make more sense. But if you care about all that other stuff that you can get and like being in the same seat, etc., then yeah, season tickets make more sense.
Yep.
Don't blame people for taking straddling the fence a bit, but don't blame people for taking the view.
Sir, we have someone photobombing the back of the live stream. So that's good.
I just happened to look over there and they were like, I was like, oh, they're in the back.
It's okay. Chantry, year 5. How are you feeling right now with the way Charlotte's shown up the first two weeks, and what do you think about this opponent against Austin?
Yeah, last week was obviously extremely disappointing, to put it lightly. Like 13 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever it was into the game, being absolutely shellacked. It was. I thought we had the potential to probably could lose that game. Like going out west is hard. You saw that with East West the week before, but it was the manner of the loss. Like was just we were awful. The St. Louis game, I wasn't too bothered about that. I thought we were okay. The St. Louis game, again, it was away. Again, it was a long trip. Some people were upset about that game. I thought, no, that's like we can build off of that. It wasn't too bad. First 15 minutes last week were just horrific, and as with everyone else, it scared me. Being attacked, it scared me. Obviously, the defense being the main part, because that was what we have built on the last couple of years. And if we can't do that this season, then we're going to have problems.
Your kid is terrorizing you.
I think Matt's theory earlier is as the drinks keep flowing, you're going to have more people come up and boo us and woo us and play rock, paper, scissors.
More people will come up and more people will say ever more ridiculous things.
Yeah. So we were talking earlier, Chantry, and looking at center back pairings, and there's been a lot of talk about current performance. If you were Dean, what would you do if you had you're going to start Privet and Ream or what?
For now, yes. But that's only because I don't feel like we've got much of a choice. Like Kessler's out, and there can be a whole separate conversation about him being injured and whether that was a concern going in. But that's a 5-minute separate conversation. Obviously, right now he's out, so that limits that choice. Morrison Adjaman looked decent the other day. Hard to fully judge him because then they obviously weren't really going for it because they were 3-0 up at half time. But he looks like he's got potential. If things keep going as they're going, he's going to probably make his way into the team sooner or later. Right now, I would give Privet and Ream the benefit of the doubt still, but that benefit of the doubt will not last forever. Like, if we lose 3-0 tomorrow and everything goes horribly wrong, that doesn't happen, but that change could happen the week after. He looked decent. We'll see, but for now, I'd stick with Privet and Ream, give them a little bit more reps, chance to earn the confidence back. Dean made a great point that Melander, in I guess 6 months into his Charlotte career at St. Louis, made a very kind of similar mistake to Privet, where gave the ball away easily in defence and Klaus scored, and Klaus obviously did the same thing for LA. So it's like that one mistake does not define Andrew Privet. Like, he can come back and still have a good season.
Yeah.
There's a long way to go. It's a concern and something I want to keep an eye on, but I'm not going to take him out of the team just based off of that. I want to give him more of a chance still at this point.
I just saw an Austin fan walk in with a custom jersey that says False 9. Yeah. So last name's False and it's number 9. So really, really sweet jersey. And look at May right there. What you got, May right there? Oh, got a look. Oh, so I don't know if I want to promote that now.
She's running it today and tomorrow.
Okay. I'm just making sure that you're still a Charlotte FC supporter. That's all.
100%. Tonight I can rock and support Austin.
There you go.
Because they are our second favorite team.
You're matching.
I'm 100% coordinated.
Nice.
And there's unicorns on the arm as well.
Hit armadillos.
He's a fake. He's right.
Nice.
But tomorrow is 100%
Mamie said 100% CLT tomorrow, so that's awesome. Good to see you, Mamie. Chantry, last thing I'll ask you here. So feel free to chat more. I'm just saying from my end. But we were texting earlier about the midfield. Would you start the same midfield we saw in week 1, Ashley Westwood, Luca Del Torre, and then Pep Biel, or would you make a change there?
So that is one change I would make. I would bring Brant back in for Luca Del Torre right now, and that's the reason I would make that change is that also for the same reason I'd keep Privet, and that's because Brant has shown that he can do it. And like, I know this is a thing right now, but every single year we try and replace Brant Brodico, and every single year Brant Brodico makes his way back into the team and keeps his spot. Luca could turn out to be a good player for us still. I'm not writing him off completely at all, but we were decent with Brant in that position last year, and when we're trying to like settle things down and keep things stable, I think it's like the better the devil you know type thing. So I would play Brant tomorrow alongside Ashley and bring Pep up Clam, because it's just it's a safe bet. The players know each other. It's for now. I just think we need to do what we know.
See, Chantry and me. Same thought
Can
process.
I change my mind purely based on agreeing with Gusler?
Just, last thing, Chantry, I guess for me, Fulham. How do you think they're going to finish the rest of the season?
No, we're not talking about Fulham on this podcast. No one likes Fulham except you two.
Well, I just have to just rub salt in the wound because I saw a few SBC folks in here, and I know they're Hotspur fans. So at least we're not in that position, right?
No, that's what I was going to do. It wasn't even going to be Fulham. It's going to be as bad as Charlotte or Fulham could ever be. Like, at least we're not Tottenham. That makes me feel really good. And Swift, I know you can agree with me on that.
We can talk about how horrible Tottenham is on the show. That's
okay.
That is something
that's the safe area. There. So
I was very depressed about the Fulham result on Wednesday, and then I saw Tottenham on Thursday. I was like, where's be worse?
Yeah, Lee was giving me, because he's a Tottenham fan. He was like, "Oh, you guys are going to bottle the league." I'm like, "Well, we'll finish second. You're 1 point from relegation, so I think I think there's levels here."
Just can you imagine that stadium being in championship? Sorry, I know this is a Charlotte FC podcast, but
see, this is what happens when you start talking about.
I know. Sorry.
The jokes that have been going around that have been pretty good. like Grimsby players walking around this massive modern stadium.
Patrick Agyemang could be playing against Tottenham Hotspur next year. There we go. I brought it back to Charlotte. See.
It could be playing at Manchester City next year.
He very could be.
Yeah.
But on that note, I saw a video and I sent it to Lee. So big shout out Lee, CLTFC Fan TV. Sent it to him, and they were chanting "Say hi to Millwall" for us. This last game. So just rub the salt in the wound, Mr. Arson over here. So
I'll let you guys get back to Charlotte FC.
Let's do it, man.
And away from horrible Tottenham horribleness.
Sorry.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you, changing. Hey, if you could find Mr. Lewis, the president of MCC.
No, I will go hunting Lewis.
All right, find him. I want to get him on here. So look at that. We got our little English conversation there. Felt smarter just talking about soccer with the British guy. It's great. What do you think score is going to be tomorrow, Swift?
I think 3-1 us.
Okay. We'll come back to that here in just a second, but we got a special guest. I think the microphone's still on, Corey. You were requested, so you want to promote MCC for a second and say hello?
Yeah.
You can take the mic out of the thing. So no noise yet. So we'll filibuster as the live show.
Filibuster. There we go. All right.
There we go. So for those who don't know, Brandon Lewis, you want to introduce yourself, who you are?
Yes, Brandon Lewis, third MCC president, behind the first MCC president right here, and former MCC comms director right here, and vice president.
That's right.
That's right.
Full MCC audits.
Yeah.
Yep. Move the microphone up just a little bit for the there we go. Sorry.
I'll let it touch my mouth.
There you go. There you go. I have not used that microphone, so you're in the clear. Sorry. So Lewis, so anything you want to share for folks? I mean, really cool to see this happen every year. MCC, pre first home game, night of party, etc. Anything that you guys have going on that you want to promote for Mint City?
For Mint City, going into the new year, not necessarily a new us, but we have a very large council, the largest we've had, to really give the members the experience.
That's awesome.
To give the experience that they want and that they deserve as supporters of this club. We'll be going on tailgate tomorrow, as we will do tailgate for most every game.
I heard someone's manning the grill tomorrow.
That would be me. I've got an apron. I did purchase an apron off of Amazon
Nice.
3 days ago to don for this adventure of mine. I promise I have grilled before, so please don't be concerned about your food safety.
What are you grilling?
Will there be glizzies?
Hamburgers and glizzies.
Yes. I'm sure Ashley's here somewhere and loves some good glizzies.
Ashley, your service is requested.
Where is the hot dog queen?
This is great.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh.
We want you to tell everybody how much you love hot dogs.
Because someone's grilling tomorrow, and
What is happening right now?
there you
What-
go.
How much do you like hot dogs?
I do not love hot dogs.
She loves hot
Brats are
dogs.
okay. So I also like pork roll or Taylor ham, which is basically just breakfast hot dogs. I know this. It doesn't make any sense, but
Yeah, pork rolls from Jersey. It's like a northern thing.
Taylor ham, depending on
Yeah. Are you going to be grilling that
It's
tomorrow?
kind of like bologna, but
Yeah.
like not.
It's like bologna.
It's full of hot dogs from U.S. Foods. So
Do it right now.
Yeah. Well, hey, it looks like,
raffle time.
yeah, well, Lewis, Tracy said she hates the microphone.
It's
So I
raffle
think,
time.
I think that you're going to have to announce the winner here in just a second. If you want, MCC president. Show's going off the rails. It's fine.
Raise the hands here. Who believes in Bigfoot?
What? Did you say Bigfoot?
Yeah, who
Let's
believes
talk,
in Bigfoot?
Can we now move the discussion to Bigfoot?
Oh, wait. We have 6 opportunities to win. Did you win? Oh, okay. Drum roll, please, as we're get a nice little grab in there, get real deep, make sure you pull out that nice card. What's the first card number there, Mr. Lewis?
Stop talking about it. Ticket number 3802227. Ticket number 3802227. We have a winner.
Winner, chicken dinner.
That right there, I'm sure YouTube loved. That's great. Great job, congratulations. What'd they win? Nice. MCC branded pint
Corey,
glass.
how come I haven't talked like this the whole time?
This is
He
great.
picked the coffee mug.
The coffee mug, nice. Nice, yeah.
Matt,
Next
I'm so glad
winner.
we just discovered this.
Ticket number 3802247.
4-7.
3802247. 3802247.
Do we have a winner? No winner yet? Hold on.
This is also what happens when people start drinking.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Wait a It's an Austin fan.
We have
It's
a
okay.
winner.
It's all right. It's good.
We have some Austin fans here, which is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
And one of them just won.
MCC branded merch.
There
Yeah.
you go. Nice.
Well done.
Make sure you bring that into the stadium tomorrow. And
You may win tonight, but you will lose tomorrow.
there you go. Yeah, just read like the last 4 or something like that.
All right, they all start with 380, so I'm going with the last 4. 2228. Ticket number 2228.
Are you sure it's an 8, not a 5?
You made me second guess myself, quick. Last chance, 2228.
We got another winner? We got a winner? Hold on.
We have a 2-time winner.
This is great.
This is what happens when you don't come to the event. you miss out on.
Some surprises.
Pure chaos.
Down to the last three. 2237. 2237. Oh, that was quick.
Oh, nice.
I like that mug, actually. Who won? Phil won. Nice.
Oh, nice.
2 pint glasses left. Maybe. Yeah?
You didn't hear 2 pint glasses left.
We got some questions from the chat we'll read here in just a minute.
All right, 2230. Ticket number 2230.
Oh, we got a winner. Hold on.
Another Austin fan.
Oh, no. Wait, hold on. He's got a chicken, though.
Get all of your winning out tonight because you will be crying
Hold
tomorrow.
on. I think we need to interview the chicken, though, here in a minute.
Oh, nice.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
The show's going off the rails. It's fine. Congratulations. Thank you. Last one.
The final ticket, 2233. 2233.
It's a Charlotte fan at least this time, so that's good.
Oh, thank God.
Whatever.
All right. Lewis, have you been checking the tickets to make sure they match?
I'm glancing at them.
It's okay.
All right, Bigfoot competition.
Do you believe?
You sure can. Here, Tracy. Here, on. Here you go.
Oh.
Hi, Tracy. Introduce
Hey,
yourself.
Tracy.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I'm the watch party and events coordinator for Min City this season.
Whoop, whoop.
I just want to say thank you guys for coming out tonight for the night before party. Welcome, Austin. Sorry we're gonna need you tomorrow, but hi anyways. All right, well, have fun tonight. Behave yourselves. Hydrate. See you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.
I love that there was a random Bigfoot. Oh, there's some chants breaking out. So we had a chicken on the show. We had a British guy. It's great.
Can we just clip that? We had a chicken on the show.
Yeah, we'll clip that. We'll share that on social media.
That's just gotta be the social media clip. We had a chicken on the show.
Yeah.
Let's answer some more questions.
So Rob Barnes asks, Luca. Oh, hold on. We just read this? Yeah. Okay. If you love your supporters, why would you give them a 30 minutes heads up that they would have a pre-sale ticket access to the MLS All-Star Game?
Good question.
Good question.
I posted that on Twitter and asked that same question, and I did get an answer.
What was the answer?
They are going to look at that and work on that because that is definitely not something that should happen. And when Philip was up here earlier, it's one of the things that I think was a miss, and so they need to fix it. They need to treat season ticket members great and give them extra support and perks. So
Is the game sold out yet?
is the game still out yet?
Is it sold out?
It's not sold out yet,
Got it.
so get your ticket, David.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Corey, are you gonna go to the All-Star game?
He said, meh,
Are you gonna go to the All-Star game?
meh.
Jesus.
I mean, I'll go. I'm like you. If someone can buy me a ticket, I'll go. But I'm not going to go out of my way and get it, though. Anyways, but no, so back to the questions here. So Luca needs to start being a connector. Dean said it. He was seeing it in training. What do you think is the difference for live game?
Cool, man. Okay, great. You're seeing it in training, but it's not translating to the field. And again, we've talked about this. Like, what happens when the ball's kicked off and your plan is not going well? What adjustments are you going to make? And that's also on the players too, to understand that the game plan is not working. But it's also on the coach to start moving people around and giving instructions. So it's great that it's happening in training, but I think we all want to see it on the field, and that's why he was brought into the team, right? To upgrade the midfield, get more, possession and passes through the spine, and it needs to be on the field. But maybe tomorrow we'll see it.
Sorry, there's a lot more that I missed here that Corey sent my way, so here we go. Let's see here. Paul Hagen-ish, which I know who that is. So this is a big fat liar when he says occasional listener, but it's okay. 11th time caller, he says. Riddle me this. Would you prefer a false 8 and a box mid to mid, or a box to mid to box guy? But the real question is, why are you three so darn beautiful?
Oh. Did you talking about us?
I mean, he must be really confused on what show he's sitting in.
Also, this is what happens when you do a show at the brewery. People
it impairs their thought process.
Compliments. What was the first actual question? Is there an actual question?
Riddle me this: would you prefer a false 8 and a box mid to mid, a box to mid to box guy?
Yeah, I like what we got.
You like what we got? Yeah. Paul, if you hear that, he likes what he's got. Let's see here. I think we talked about the 200 section already, so I think we're caught up on questions, right, Corey? So Swift, you said 3-1 tomorrow, so no clean sheet at home. But who scores tomorrow?
For us,
for us. I don't care about Austin.
I just think again we might give up one on a set piece or corner, but I think for us, I think Adon, Zaha, and Pep. I want to see our forwards score and produce something. I really want to see Zaha do something in this game. I really think it's going to be important for him mentally and just confidence-wise.
Yeah, I agree. I want our DPs and top-paid guys to score some goals.
I want Zaha to make it really awkward, like him getting a lot of assists and goals, and kind of be like, yeah, say, like sign me.
How about that?
Say something, like Zaha's like he's kind of spiteful, like he's like that, and so maybe there was a little bit of like poking at him a little bit to get him to go.
Did you say Zaha is a little bit of spiteful?
He's spicy, spiteful.
Spicy. I think he's very spicy.
Yeah.
So, Corey, not to put you on the spot, your goal prediction, sir. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
3-2 Charlotte.
Pretty tight there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we comment on his jersey, false 9. It's amazing.
Basically, I don't have faith in us to keep Austin out of the goal.
Okay.
But I hope we actually get the attack going and get enough to get a win. So 3-2. That's what I'm going for.
I'm going to be very specific again in true fashion. I'm going to say we're win 1-0 at home. I'm going to say Harry Tofolo volleys the ball from a corner, his left foot, goes top bend, corner from the 18-yard box. It's a throwback for anyone who's been listening since the very first home game where I said the same thing that Christian Fuchs was going to do.
Right.
And I said if that happened, I would get a Christian Fuchs tattoo on my body.
Oh my God! Could you imagine if you had a Christian Fuchs tattoo?
I don't want to imagine, but it's fine. It's fine. But no. But seriously though, 1-0. I think let's say Pep Biel scores with a Wilfred Zaha assist again.
There you go.
I do have another question. I just thought about it from goal scoring. Toklamani, what will be a successful season for him now that he's the full-time starter? How many goals do you expect from him this season?
Double digits. I think too. We talked about this before. I think just goal by committee. No one person has to like really stand out, but I think he needs to get into the double digits. And also just get some pressure off the rest of the attacking players. Like draw some attention, make some good runs, kind of in and out of the box to clear the space. So again, he doesn't have to score all the time. He just has to make room for others to score too.
Yeah. One thing he does, he makes some good runs.
He can.
Yeah.
Need to see some of that in this game. I haven't really seen that the first two. But
is it because he changed his jersey number to number 9?
No.
No? You don't think that's what it was?
Was it Fat Bird that kept saying like he changed his hair and that was why he was
That is
scoring?
very true. He said something about like bleaching it or going to the blonde or something like that. Yeah. Fat Bird is not a fan of frosted tips, I guess, huh?
I think he used to have frosted tips.
Me and him go way back. We had some frosted tips.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I could be wrong. He may not have.
He did go see Backstreet Boys in the Sphere, so
He did do that.
so I wouldn't put
So
it
that's
past him.
basically like having frosted tips.
With some hookah shell necklaces and
Yeah.
polos with multiple pop collars. It's
Yeah.
fine. We got some folks chasing each other here.
Yeah.
Corey, Swift, I think this might be a good little
Yeah.
stoppage time here
Yeah,
for us.
we've
But
been going like an hour and a half.
so for those who have been listening to us for an hour and a half,
Sorry.
by choice on YouTube or not by choice here in NoDa, sorry, but not sorry. Any closing thoughts, Swift?
Closing thoughts?
Let's win tomorrow.
I really wish that you had a soundboard, Corey, and you can do that. Bow, 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 like, you know.
Oh yeah. So there's a couple things we need to get. We need a soundboard and me to start writing my little.
Drawing.
Yeah, because just be prepared and unsubscribe now. There's going to be more of that going forward.
Or subscribe, if that's your thing. You know, whatever. Quick plug, just make sure you check out our Patreon if you want to support the show. Mid-City Soccer Show on Patreon. Get access to our Discord. We ask a lot of questions on there. We do soccer and coffee. I think we might do soccer and coffee tomorrow. I don't know.
I can't.
Swift says no. I'll be driving up to Chapel Hill, so I might be doing it for my AirPods. Be fine. Corey's been eating his liver mush and biscuit, so it's fine. So, Corey, any closing thoughts from you? He's giving me a thumbs up. He's like, stop going to me.
He's trying to get out of here. He's like, I've had enough.
He said, stop going to me, so I have to like reach around to unmute my microphone. Just stop it. Big shout out to the awesome fans that did come out here. So thank you. Thanks to the Mid City Collective for having us here. Thanks to the vendors for also coming out and hanging out. But this is always great.